Oh yeah, I'm Andy May. I'm the front of house engineer for Status Quo. Been doing that job about 25 years, and we've come down to doing some solo work with Francis Rossi. He's currently on a tour doing acoustic renditions and sort of reimaginings, if you like, of a lot of the classic Quo material. And we've come out to do some concerts, and it's going really well so far. So the show is two musicians on stage. It's Francis and his friend and producer, Andy Brook. Andy Brook's a super talented dude who plays guitar and is very adept within the studio environment as well. So he's come out to help him. So all the songs are based around a two guitar format, both acoustics with pedals. So there's quite a lot of overdrives and various effects being put on the guitars to try and fill the sound and help with rocking up, if you like, some of the sounds. So both sing. Francis actually takes lead vocal on all the songs. Andy does a lot of BVs for it, but essentially it's all Francis' work. So he's got a lot of work to do vocally. Whereas of course with the band, it was always split vocals with Rick Parfitt, the other singer. But in this situation, he has much more singing to do, which puts him under quite a lot of pressure. And because the format is acoustic guitars, there's not probably quite so much instrumentation of guitar soloing and stuff. So the vocals become more prominent. In fact, it features him as a singer much more so than the electric show ever did. And he is a great singer, yeah. I started with the Yamahas probably in the middle 80s. I was first aware of them. I came up as a youngster working on like TAC and Soundcraft, but soon got into the Yamaha thing. I was introduced to it with a couple of the major companies who had PM3000s at the time, and I used to look at a PM3000 and think, one day I'll get to mix on one of those. And I did. By the time I was about 30, I was using a PM3000 on some things. Then the PM4000 came along. That coincided with me being able to get a couple of decent profile tours that I could take a PM4000 away with me and some outboard stuff, and I absolutely loved it. And I'd seen a couple of sort of older engineers who were much more established than me. One was Dave Natal, who's obviously a legendary engineer who uses Yamaha. I was doing a support band. He was mixing Tina Turner on a PM4000. It just sounded incredible, and I just thought, I'm gonna follow that lead, if you like. So I stayed with the Yamaha thing. When I started with Quo, we used PM4000s with outboard, and when the PM5D got launched, I kind of got hooked into that through a sequence of events of having to do some other shows on digital consoles, the PM1D, and a thing called, I think it was the SM2000, smaller Yamaha digital mixers. But the PM5D was really the launch pad for me into using Yamaha for effort. I've used that desk for years on Status Quo. And it's reliability, isn't it? And solid build, predictable, you know what it's going to do every day. And I love all the internal effects. There's no need for me to be running any kind of plugins or outboard equipment. I can do everything within the console that I need to do. And that is a massive attraction for me. DM3, this came into my orbit in about March or probably April 2023. I was doing some other product thing with you guys, and I saw a cardboard box and I saw this, but it wasn't usable. But then the first time we used one for real was at the Fulford Arms up in York. Did a demo gig and recorded it. But it was the first time I'd used a console. I'd not seen it powered up. I'd seen the console, but never seen it powered up, never used it, and jumped on it. And we literally did that, as you saw in the video, in lightning time. It took me longer to mic up the band than it took to actually get to grips with the console. Console is easy to use. If you know your way around Yamaha stuff already, it follows that kind of workflow that we've all become familiar with. Great compression. Great gates for drums. Don't use them in this environment because I don't have any need for noise gates, but I do use the compressors a lot. Fabulous EQ, and obviously it's got those kind of legendary Yamaha effects that we've come to know, the SPX and the revs, the rev hall and all that stuff, and the plates, really good. So everything internally sounds like the Pro console, sounds like the big Pro consoles. It's just squished down into a tiny package, which is absolutely amazing for doing this kind of show. We decided the best way to do this tour, because Francis and Andy on stage are, fussy is the wrong word, but they're particular about how it needs to be, and they're quite precise about how it needs to be, and they need control. So there was no way that I was going to be able to do this in a regular budget fashion fold back type scenario. We needed to find a way of doing separate monitors, but not having a monitor engineer and everything else that went with it. So Andy has now got a DM3 identical to this one, patched on stage. The patch is slightly different, but he controls all the on-stage monitoring, side fills and wedges for the pair of them, which means I don't have to worry about it. I can just worry about the house sound. We run all the inputs into a TO, and then just run 2 downtail lines out to the monitor console and to the front of house console, and Andy can basically do what he needs to do on stage. He can obviously, with the equalizer, just get into the nitty gritty of the EQ, get the notch filters into place, because Francis runs with a DPA headset mic, which is a fussy little mic. They're the best that you can get, but they're still tedious things from one gig to another, different environments, different acoustics, different front of house PA systems. It needs tuning slightly differently every day. So the EQ from this console is really good at being able to get into that and get real tight curves and be able to deal with it. And we can still always get good headroom, and it's not a particularly quiet show. So yeah, we found that really useful. Yeah, I think the Yamaha thing has become a bit of a go-to product for me. If somebody comes to me and says we have a little conundrum, we need to fix this little gig, or we've got an issue, and it doesn't matter if it's small low-end gig, that could be pub, club, or a school event. I do quite a lot for school events. It's going to be, if it's audio, the chances are I'm going to be looking at Yamaha gear. And to that end, we bought some the DZR speakers. It's just fantastic. I mean, you get all the pro quality that you'd expect from the real big brands, but in a Yamaha package, and that is just great because it doesn't sound cheap when you plug it in. It sounds really pro, and people stand back and go, "That sounds fantastic. How did you do that?" And I'm like, "I didn't really do anything. I just plugged it in, and it sounds great." So Francis likes to archive all the shows for all sorts of reasons, I guess, and I think he perhaps has an idea of putting some live stuff together at some point. So we try and archive all the shows. So I do multiple miking for things. So we've always got ambience and not only guitar DI but guitar mic as well. So I've managed to, it's only two, remembering that the show is actually only 2 guitars and 2 vocals, I've still managed to fill the console up with stereo guitars. We use some mimic pedals that do like an ADT effect on the guitars. There's also guitar combos, so I've got a mic on those. There's his DPA headset, we have a spare for that. There's Andy's vocal as well. And also I've got, into this console only, not on stage, a pair of AKG crowd mics that we use to capture the crowd and get ambient PA. Just for, if there is ever a live mix done, we've got some crowd noise to put onto it and to make it sound like a proper concert. And I do all that. On this case here, it's being done straight out onto the MacBook Pro and straight down to Logic. And that's real easy to do. It's done out of the USB port, and it's dead simple to set up. It's plug and play, really, to be honest. Can be done via Dante as well, but we've got enough inputs here to do it via the USB. And we take it at 96K and drop it all onto a fancy little hard drive, and we're away. It's good. This is Francis' stage. So this is Francis' area here. He's got his 2 acoustic sonic Telecasters. One's tuned differently to the other. Bunch of pedals to make lots of noise, do his special tricks with. And he's got a very, very similar setup. We've obviously got the DM3 over here, which is controlling monitors and side fills. With all the inputs coming into this console as well. Pair of radio mics, both for Francis, a DPA headset mic and a spare, completely redundant system, just in case we have any troubles, which thankfully, touch wood, we haven't done yet. Andy's got backing vocals on a regular 58. All the inputs, the guitars themselves are on DI boxes and some small amplifiers at the back here. So I'll take a combination of the stereo DIs off the guitars and the amplifiers into a Yamaha TO, which is situated just behind the chair. And that TO is split out via Dante to front of house and to the monitor console. And that in a nutshell is it. So it's fairly simple and yet slightly complex for 2 guitars and 2 vocals. But it works well. It's quite stable. We started touring like this and it hasn't been changed very much. There's a few more pedals been deployed, but that's guitar players for you, isn't it? They love that kind of thing. Yeah, it works well. It's reliable and it's predictable every night, which is what we need. Yeah, it's good.